This is the solar system. We spend every single moment of our life here. The terrifying yet beautiful vacuum contains what we call home, and I will be recreating our home in hardcore Minecraft. Before we can start working on transforming the end dimension into our solar system, we are gonna have to go and kill the Ender Dragon 20 times. Oh crap, the egg. Okay, I was just trying to get the egg. Let's try this again. Here's the first dragon. Now that I had killed the dragon 20 times, well, 19, it is time to get rid of all of the end islands. And the way I'm going to go about this is flying machines and a beacon to take out all of the pillars. Wait. I think it's done. I'm gonna be honest, I have no idea what this is. A feeling this is not gonna work. Help! Help! The make or break. I spent a large amount of my stream trying to find a design that would work. I have finalized that this one will do. Probably not the best way to go about it with redstone clocks, but I don't do redstone, I build. With the design now figured out, I built quite a few of them and sent them to work. Since we have all seen the end island being destroyed, I'm not gonna bother showing you all of it. While using the TNT dupers, I had to periodically break by hand all of the endstone that it had missed, and this was such a tedious process. So we have officially made it to the halfway mark, and Jordan here, you know, I'm screen sharing, he points out a little something. Something's missing here. I killed the dragon 20 times. Where is it? Right there, 20 times. I'll see you guys when the rest of this is destroyed. Well, it took about 6 days of a lot of work. Now I can begin phase 1 of our solar system. Obviously, the center of our solar system, the sun. I'm glad I realized early how much I did not like the yellow mixed in with the orange and red glass, so I quickly removed it before I got any further into the layers. So at this point, I am 27 layers in out of the 127. So I only have 100 more to go, which is a lot. However, in order for me to get all of this glass, I just converted my sand duper into an automatic smelter for all the glass. The only problem is getting all the dye, which has not been fun at all. After several days of work, the sun is finally complete. What? Why do I have a hat? But it is fully enclosed. Now, with the sun finished, it is time to move on to the first planet, Mercury. Now with Mercury built, it is time to move on to the next planet. And the next planet that we're going to be building is Venus. Now with Venus fully built, it is time to move on to the next planet, and that is Earth. The only problem that I have with Earth is since I'm building this at such a small scale, the moon is truly going to be absolutely tiny. I'm also gonna have to AFK my wool farm for a bunch of blue wool. So let's go AFK. After AFKing my wool farm for all the blue wool I was going to need for the ocean, it was time to start working on the Earth. Once the Earth was fully built, I built the moon, and yes, trust me, I know that the moon is extremely small.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Now that I have finally built our home in the solar system, I now get the privilege to move on to the next planet, Mars. Mars is going to be one of the more complicated planets for me, being that I don't have blocks on standby to build it. So I had to get a silk touch axe so I could collect all the necessary blocks needed to make it look as realistic as possible. I ended up deciding going with brown mushroom tops as well as packed mud for a nice variation in the brown. Now that I have 4 out of the 8 planets done, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of all of this bedrock so it looks a lot cleaner. Once I had finally figured out how to break bedrock from anywhere but above, I went through and got rid of all of the bedrock that was still underneath of the portals, and it started to look a lot better. With all of the bedrock now destroyed, I can resume building the solar system. So I began working on the next planet in our solar system, Jupiter. The only problem was, this didn't last very long, being I had ran out of blocks and had to go and collect more. Now, with all of my blocks reacquired, I can continue working on building Jupiter. With Jupiter fully built, I can finally move on to one of my favorite planets, Saturn. Saturn is one of my favorite planets because of the ring that surrounds it. I know it's going to be quite difficult to build in Minecraft, but let's start building it. So now that Saturn is fully built, I still have to get the ring around it, which I don't fully know how I'm going to do, being it is at an angle. So this is going to be a lot of trial and error, and hopefully I can get it and get it to look good. So let's just go get some glass and take a whack at it. At this point, I was starting to think that the ring looked kind of weird, but I felt like I was in too deep anyway, so I was going to continue until it was fully finished to see what it would look like. Once I had finally reached the corners of the circle, I mean, it's technically not a circle, being, you know, Minecraft. But as soon as I reached the corners, I knew I should have just turned back then, because I don't know how I could have gotten this to work. I won't lie, building a ring that's at an angle is the hardest thing I have ever done. And I think I may have to back out of it being at an angle and just do it on a flat line, or at least a slight angle. But trying to do it fully diagonal, I don't think is going to be possible and make it look nice. With Saturn's ring fully built, I've kind of ran into the issue of I need to figure out something to do for the spawn platform of the end island, being it is just a floating piece of obsidian that I have also converted into an auto smelting area for when I do use my sand/concrete duper. So I think I'm going to build a rocket kind of deal so it doesn't look too out of place, so it'll definitely fit on theme. Now that the rocket is fully assembled, I set off on a journey back to the overworld to tend to my guardian farm, harvesting precious sea lanterns for construction of our next celestial project, Uranus. Since this planet is an ice giant, I intend to cover the entire surface with blue stained glass and add sea lanterns behind it to attempt to create the illusion of ice depth. Now that Pluto is no longer considered a planet, it is time for us to build Neptune. And Neptune is pretty far, so I'm gonna have to build out quite a bit. Okay, well, this should be plenty far enough away, so let's start building Neptune. Since blue ice is super expensive to craft and rare to find, I periodically had to go out and collect tons of it to build our final planet. Well, Neptune is now fully done aside from I still need to add the little eye, but I will do that real quick and this will be done. The next thing we got to do is just get rid of this Enderman XP farm and we'll get the little preview of all the builds. And if you made it this far, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you did enjoy and I would greatly appreciate if you leave a like if you did enjoy it and be sure to leave a comment with what you guys want to see me do next.